collectibles, bringing you a very special video. So on my old channel I had a, well not my old channel, my other channel, Variety Gaming 101, I have a zombie deck profile, and I'm doing my Yugioh videos on this channel now. So here is my updated zombie deck profile as of July 1st, 2015. And basically in here, this is the budget zombie deck that you can try to, that is pretty good against most decks, except for those things like stupid Necros, which I always get wrecked against. And yeah, it's a cheap deck to make and not hard to put together, so, and there's lots of options available. So first off, we have a 1 goblin zombie. I was re-recording this video before. I was doing a recording of it, but the glare was really bad and the lighting is bad, and I decided to redo it. I'm not going to say the descriptions of all the cards this time. If you have any questions in the description, just ask. I'm not going to explain too many of the card descriptions. There's 1 goblin zombie, 3 Mizukis, no less than 3. Like, you have to have 3 Mizukis. It's just not a zombie deck without that. 2 pyramid turtles. I would up this to 3, except I don't have a 3rd one. Pyramid turtle is a great one to have in any zombie deck, so there's go pyramid turtle. Wouldn't do that one last. Here, Spear Reaper. Great for fending off against those high-powered attacks, and as long as you can. I would almost up this to 2, but I'm not sure. I just had to keep it at 1. It's good enough for me. Illblood, great for special summoning from the graveyard, and also he's level 6s, which is what I use for the synchros in this deck. Need level 6s. Speaking of level 6s, we have Vampire's Curse. Vampire's Curse is level 6, and you can special summon him every time he dies for 500 life points, so that's useful too. This is level 5, and I'm thinking of taking this out, but I just need to find a replacement monster. It's a Vampire Lord. His effect is nice, but sadly he's level 5 and not very strong, so I'm going to take him out. Next up is the boss monster, Endless Decay. Easy to summon with resummon, and also as long as you get him to your graveyard, then you can summon really fast. You basically get whatever his life points, your enemy's life points is, his attack becomes half of it, so that's your boss monster right there. You need to get that out early game as fast as you can. 1 Plague Spreader zombie. I would up this to 2 or possibly even 3, maybe 3, probably just 2, but I only have 1, so that's what I use. And last but not least, Rainbow Creeble, the only non-zombie type monster in the deck. This is a great card. It's kind of expensive, so you don't have to use this one, but this is a great card and is very useful, so I use that. That's it for the monsters. This is a 40 card deck. I try to keep it to exactly 40, but it doesn't always work out that way. Next is the spells. Where is it here? Let me find it. I want to put them all at the same time here. Sorry about that. 2 Books of Life. Book of Life is a great card. Obviously, you have to banish one for your opponent's graveyard, so make sure there's one there at least first. And yeah, I've done 3. 3 isn't really useful. I would just keep it at 2. That's usually the most you need. 1 Call of the Mummy. I used to run 2, but 2 is way too much because when these are on the field and they're stuck there, it just takes up your spell and traps. And this deck is heavy on spells and traps. So 1 Foolish Burial. It's limited 1 right now, but Foolish Burial is great because you can get any zombie to the graveyard, whether it be your Mizuki or your Endless Decay, so you can summon with your Mizuki. 2 Dark Holes. I don't have a Raigeki, and it's really expensive, so I go with 2 Dark Holes. Good for getting a zombie to the graveyard if you need one that's on the field anyway. 2 MSTs. Self-explanatory. Could up it to 3, but 2 is sufficient, I think. A Dark World Dealings. This makes your opponent discard 1, or you both you and your opponent draw a card and then discard a card. It's useful because if your opponent has no cards in their hand, they have to just basically burn 1. And it's also useful because if you can draw 1 and send one of your zombies to the graveyard. Like if you draw Endless Decay and you can't summon him because he's in your hand, use this. Burial from a Different Dimension. This is a great card just because when your Mizukis are banished or any of your other zombies, you can just use this to bring them back to the graveyard and then re-special summon all your zombies with Mizuki. This I would up to 2 or 3, but I only have 1 because it's a 40 card deck, as I said, and I've just tried to keep it at that, but so keep your options open. Pot of Duality, pretty self-explanatory. You could use up to 3. Gold Sarcophagus, great for getting Spirit Reaper to the hand or anything else you need in the hand. Useful for almost any deck. Shard of Greed, another card that's great. It's like Pot of Greed nerfed, but it's actually not forbidden or limited, so great. And last but not least, Dragon's Mirror. This card is for the fusion monster that I have in this deck. You'll see it in a little bit. You need 2 zombie monsters to summon it. I'm sure a lot of you guys know what that is already, but this card, if you're on a budget, like I said, you don't use this and don't use that fusion monster, you gotta put another duality in or whatever. But the Dragon's Mirror is kind of expensive because it's an old card. Even the common's expensive, so I think there's only a common anyway. Now for trap monster, or not traps, monsters, sorry, just traps. Compulsory evacuation device, pretty useful for almost any deck. A Dark Bribe, just for negating. 2 Mirror Forces. Debunk. This is a great card because it's kind of expensive, but basically it just, when a monster effect is activated in the hand or graveyard, you can negate the activation and banish it. Very useful. Wiretap. Useful again for negating. Bottomless Trapo. I think that's limited 1. I love this card. This is one that I usually put in this deck because with zombies you need to stall as much as possible while you get your graveyard built up, because that's the weakness of this deck. It is basically if your opponent kills you off quick while you don't have a graveyard, that's your weak point. So you have to stall as much as you can. So you Scrap Iron Scarecrow, negate an attack, and then flip it back face down. Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. This is what they say is the best trap in the game right now, which some people say that's the best staple trap in the game, which I can agree with that almost, because it's how amazing it is, especially for zombie decks because you have to discard one. So you can discard Mizuki or Endless Decay. Shapesister. This is a trap tuner monster, so it's good for synchroing, like as I have synchros in this deck, and it's level 2 synchro. Or sorry, tuner, I'm sorry, it's tuner, my bad. 1 Call the Haunted. I've tried 2, but I don't really like it because there's nothing really to recycle or send the traps back to your hand, so if you get them stuck on the field, it just takes up space. Black Horn of Heaven, great card. Kind of expensive, so you can switch this out with something else. And Magic Cylinder. And now for the extra deck, guys. I'll go with Xyz first, actually. So these kind of get expensive, so they're not necessary. But the Volvo Chain, went down in price because it got printed in Premium Gold 2, and I was lucky enough to pull one. So the Volvo Chain is great because you can send your zombies to the graveyard. Not totally necessary, but still useful. Black Ship of Corn. This is becoming less and less of a staple, but it's useful in some cases, and it's not very expensive anymore, so that's good. This one's kind of expensive, this next one, but it's, like I said, not necessary. It just makes the deck a lot more powerful. Silent Arc. I pulled this in the last video if you guys saw that. It was pretty funny. Freaking out. And now for the synchros. I'll do the fusion. Oh, I don't know, I'll do the fusion next. This is the fusion. Dragon Necro Nether Soul Dragon. So basically this one just takes any 2 zombies, and its effect is wonderful and has a lot of attack power. Basically when you attack a monster, they'll have 0 attack and you won't destroy it, but they'll deal damage, and then you get to summon a token with its same attack and defense. That's really useful. Now for the synchros. I like to keep my options open, but I do keep 2 Stardust Dragons just because Stardust Dragon is wonderful. And basically use the level 2s and the 6s, which I need to find a level 6. I'm probably going to put another Vampire's Curse or an Ill Blood in place of that Vampire Lord, but yeah. 2 Stardust Dragons. A Red Dragon Archfiend just in case you need it. And last but not least, Dark End Dragon, which is great for taking out your opponent's monsters. And that's about it. As for recommendations, like I said, this deck is open for lots of options. Like, you can change a lot of the spells and traps, so there's lots of different things you can change up. But yeah, that's basically it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you enjoyed it, why not subscribe and check out my other videos. I hope to be uploading a lot more on here soon. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day. Peace.